Derek, the Oilers' season is essentially over now that they're well back of the playoff pack. The trade deadline's coming up, and people have been talking about who should the Oilers trade. They have some unrestricted free agents in Patrick Maroon and Mark Letestu, who are obvious people to trade away. What is the Oilers' next move here?
Well, yeah, the Oilers are obviously out of the playoffs. They've fallen out. The season hasn't gone as well as they want it to be. Now you're looking at the trade deadline. They're obviously sellers at the trade deadline. There's nothing to buy for. There's nothing to load up for. They're too far out of the playoff race to make a run. So you look at the two unrestricted free agents, Patrick Maroon and Mark Letestu. And I'll start with Patrick Maroon. Patrick Maroon is a guy that's having an off season compared to last year. Last year he had a fantastic season. He had 27 goals. He was a revelation here for the Edmonton Oilers, and one of the reasons that they made the playoffs and one of the reasons that they won in the first round. This year he's probably going to finish with somewhere around 20 goals. I think he's got 17 so far, so he's going to finish in that 20 goal area this year. Not a bad season if you're a 20 goal scorer. 20 goal scorers in the league are hard to come find. Now, if you're looking at trading a guy like Patrick Maroon, my question is, where are you going to make up those 20 goals? Because now you've let 20 goals go, and you're going to get a third-round pick for Patrick Maroon at the highest. I don't think you're going to get a decent prospect for him. I think you're going to get a draft pick for him if you trade him away. So you have to look at the situation where if we don't trade him and get a third-round pick, and then he walks at the end of the year, you've just let 20 goals walk out the door. Now, the Edmonton Oilers already let 20 goals walk out the door with Taylor Hall. They've already let 20 goals walk out the door with Jordan Eberle. Now they let 20 goals walk out the door with Patrick Maroon. They haven't made up enough of those goals, and that's one of the reasons why they're in the situation they're in right now. So I don't see a reason to trade Patrick Maroon. I think this is a guy that you have to re-sign. You have to bring back, unless you're going to find another 20 goal scorer somewhere. I just don't think they're out there that easily and that readily to become available, even in free agency this summer.
I mean, when the Oilers traded away Jordan Eberle for Ryan Strome, I would expect that GM Peter Chiarelli was hoping that Strome would be able to up his game and maybe come close to getting to Jordan Eberle's numbers, or another player on the team, maybe Drake Caggiula or somebody else who might step into the breach to fill, basically to get those kinds of minutes that Jordan Eberle was getting with the Oilers. But obviously that hasn't worked. I mean, so if you're re-signing Patrick Maroon, you still have a deficiency of goals anyways.
Yeah, you do, and I think it's a situation where they got rid of Jordan Eberle, and they thought maybe Ryan Strome would come in here and get you 15 goals. And so then that's 5 goals to make up, and you can make that up through, you're right, Caggiula and Slepyshev and maybe some other guys that would step up, and he thought maybe that's how they would fill the void. They haven't been filling that void, and you look at the games they're losing games by 1 or 2 goals, and you take 20 goals out of your lineup and then add that to the 40 goals you took out of your lineup last year, that's 60 goals out of your lineup that you have to find now, and they're not getting that production. They're not getting, you weren't going to get anything for the trade for Taylor Hall for Adam Larsson. You knew what that trade was. You were filling one hole and creating another one. You were hoping that maybe Milan Lucic could help fill those voids, but he hasn't been able to do it. He hasn't had a very good year at all this year after having a lukewarm year last year, I believe. So yeah, it's a situation where the Oilers can't keep letting goals go out the door and not making them up and hoping someone picks up the slack. That was a strategy they went into this year, hoping someone would pick up the slack, and obviously they haven't.
I mean, looking ahead to free agency, I mean, because the return for Letestu or even Maroon, if they do end up trading him, is a draft pick. They're not getting a body back that's going to somehow get the exact same number of goals that they would have gotten. I guess we have to go down the free agent road as well.
Well, yeah, the Oilers are going to have to be active at free agents, so maybe there's a salary dump. Maybe the Letestu is a salary dump. You're going to get a 4th-round pick at the highest for Mark Letestu. I don't think he's going to command a lot more than that. He's had a very bad year, but this is a guy that's a very good utility guy on a very good team, could be used and could be very effective in a playoff run. So yeah, you're going to get a 4th-round pick for him, but that's more of a salary dump, I think. So this summer you can go get a free agent. But again, you're going to have to overspend this summer to get a guy that gives you what Patrick Maroon gives you, I think. And why not just sign Patrick Maroon? Why not try and hammer out a deal with this guy and try and keep those goals here as opposed to letting him go and then overpaying for those goals and in a player that you don't know. Now the problem with the trade deadline is that every GM overvalues his player. Every GM thinks his player is worth more than other GMs do. And it's only what the player is worth on the market. It's only what the other GM thinks a Patrick Maroon is worth. And maybe some GMs think that Patrick Maroon's only worth $4 million or a 4th-round pick because you still have to sign him this summer. So you never know what the Oilers are going to get back from. But I think the time for draft picks, to be honest with the Oilers, is over. They have to get some warm bodies here. They have to start winning now. You cannot be continually saying, well, we're building for the future. The future is now. And they didn't build off the momentum that they got last year in the playoffs. But they still have to reload here. And you can't get into a situation where you miss the playoffs next year. Because if you miss the playoffs next year, then heads are going to roll.